President Garcia, we are now in record mode.
Thank you very much, Devin Satorsky. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regular scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for Friday, November 3rd, 2023. Devin Satorsky.
Great. Good morning, Madam President. Devin Zatorsky, Principal Project Coordinator with the Board of Public Works, taking role in establishing quorum. We have President Garcia, VP Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corsan, and Commissioner Reyes all present. We have quorum today. We are also joined by City Attorney Representative Ms. Adina Hoppenstand, and once again, Devin Zatorsky with Board of Public Works. We have one speaker card under general public comment and six speaker card under item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and no neighborhood council commentary.
Very well, thank you. Thank you for that, Devin. Given that we have one public comment speaker card, can we get the person by the letter M?
You hear that? Not even all the money in the world can make this situation of homelessness any motherfucking better. That's why my card reads for the record, MF, motherfucker, fucked. Fucked for years because a dirty nigger don't send the Jews back to Israel. Let's give them back to the dark garden, save America. Let's go back to constitutional betterment. Bury the niggers. We intend to do our part. Give us our state rights, freedom for the motherfucking whites, because this nigger will have to fight for every inch he gets from now on sidewalks. And why is that? Because dirty niggers don't appreciate non-disabled and disabled taxpayers that pay money to get this fucking job done, assholes. In addition to that, political arena that is often abusive and sometimes very unpleasant, sharp attacks. Fuck the mayor and fuck all of you. 42 USC 1983. Constitutional activities of free speech, motherfuckers. So for the record, I'm submitting my documents, Brandenburg versus Ohio, US 395, 444, 1969.
Thank you, Speaker. Your time is up.
Is that the last of our public comment cards, Devin?
Yes, that's the last for general public
Great.
comment.
Public comment is now officially closed. Moving on to the approval of the minutes of Friday, October 20, 2023. Is there a second to my motion to approve this item?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Devin Satorsky, there's a first by me and a second by Commissioner Corson to approve the minutes of Friday, October 20th, 2023.
Great. We will tabulate the vote, starting with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
VP Vegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Great. All ayes. The minutes are approved and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much for that. We are going to go a little bit out of order and we are going to take item number 5, which is a status update on major upcoming street improvement projects, Bureau of Street Services. Do we have a speaker for that?
We did have one public speaker card for that.
No, I mean,
A speaker, yes.
a
It is,
presenter.
sorry. It is.
is he online?
No, it should be on this card.
Give me a second.
Sorry.
Mr. Bingaman. I don't see him though here. Mr. Bingaman?
Oh, he was here. He dropped off his report.
And he left.
Yeah, but he's here today. He gave us his report on the show. We can go
Okay.
back to item 1.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's here though. No, that's not Mr. Bingaman. That's Mr. Roch there. Okay, we'll come back to item number 5. Hopefully he does come back. Please do not interrupt our meeting. We're gonna come back to item number 5 when Mr. Bingaman comes back, because he was here present, right?
He was here, yeah, he
Okay.
submitted
We're
his
trying
report.
to
He's
get him
here.
out the door today. All right, colleagues. We're gonna go back to item number 1. This is a request from the Bureau of Engineering in Council District 14. And we do have a public speaker card with the person starts with the letter M.
You have 2 minutes for public comment.
It has nothing to do with item number 1. Please stay on topic.
That isn't topic. Because in CD 14, Kevin DeLeon has been barred, banned, censored for participating in committees and commission. And you motherfuckers want to railroad this fucking project without his approval and the approval of the residents of Boyle Heights, you dumb bitch. So for a not to exceed amount of $1 million, you cunt, the time related to costs incurred on the construction by the city engineer to issue a subsequent change of orders. Why can't you get the fucking matter straight? That's why we need Kevin DeLeon in here, a representative of Boyle Heights, El Sereno, and every motherfucker in CD 14. We support Kevin DeLeon, vote for Kevin DeLeon, and as far as your fat cunt mouth, keep that pie hole in your mouth shut. As long as I'm talking about
Stay on.
BTW 2023
This is regarding the Soto Bridge over Valley Boulevard.
regarding the increase and change order of public construction.
This is gonna be your first and only warning. Stay
Yeah.
on topic.
42 U.S.C. 1983 politely, fuck you.
Devin Satorki, is that the last of our public comments?
That is the last public comment for item
Thank you
1.
very much. Public comment for item number 1 is now officially closed. This is a request in Council District 14 for a budget increase in change order number 124 for Police Construction, Inc., Soto Bridge over Valley Boulevard and Union Pacific Railroad Project, recommending the board to 1, authorize $1,200,000 in additional contingency and approve a revised construction budget of $18,366,660 with 42 cents for the Soto Street Bridge over Valley Boulevard and Union Pacific Railroad Project. 2, authorize the city engineer to issue change order number 124 for a not to exceed amount of $1,246,182 for time-related costs incurred by police construction due to delays during the construction of the project. And 3, authorize the city engineer to issue a subsequent change order up to the revision construction budget of $18,366,660 and 42 cents for the project. This morning, we have Mr. Gibson here on this item. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Good morning. Scott Gibson with the Bridge Improvement Division. As you mentioned, this report is in reference to the Soto Street Bridge over Valley Boulevard and Union Pacific Railroad. This project actually completed construction in June of this year, but we've been in ongoing negotiations for outstanding change orders with the contractor. Improvements on the project included widening the bridge by 25 feet to the west, improvements to curb barriers, barrier rail, sidewalk, wider shoulders, and adjacent roadway improvements. During construction, we encountered several unforeseen conditions. One was working adjacent to and above the Union Pacific Railroad. They were unable to give us adequate time windows to demolish the bridge, and so we had to adjust our demolition methods, which resulted in additional costs and delays. During clearing and grubbing, we also encountered an unforeseen or an unmarked concrete pedestrian tunnel, which had to be demolished and backfilled. And there were also several discrepancies between the as-built drawings and the infield conditions, which required some design modifications. And so we did address the hard costs related to all of those changes previously. But associated with those changes were several delays. And the contractor submitted a request for 582 compensable working days. We found merit to 333 of those working days. And so we are requesting authority to issue a change order in the amount of $1,246,182 to provide compensation to the contractor for 333 working days. We are also requesting an additional $1.2 million in contingency to make up for this change order, but we also foresee a few additional change orders, mainly related to bid item overruns such as asphalt, concrete, base material, which we are still negotiating with the contractor. So that additional $1.2 million in contingency is intended to cover those remaining costs. And that $1.2 million will be be paid for out of MICLA, which was approved in this current fiscal year's mayor's budget. And I believe that concludes my report, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gibson, for that thorough report. Any questions, colleagues? Hearing none, any objections? Hearing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 1 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Devin Satorsky, there's a first by Vice President Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 1 forward and forthwith.
Great. We'll tabulate the vote, starting with you, President Garcia,
Aye.
VP Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Great. The item is approved and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Gibson, for that. Mr. Bingalow, you are here. I'm gonna take yours next. This is item number 5. We do, status update on major upcoming street improvement project for the Bureau of Street Services. Item number 5, I do have a speaker card, but it has a blank name, so, City Attorney? It's blank.
I believe it has an X on it, so if it's blank with an X.
Blank with an X. I don't have a name here. I don't have a name here and I don't have anyone here. Do not interrupt my meeting, please. I'm talking to the city attorney.
To the extent that you can read what's on the card, which is blank, other than an X, whomever completed that card can make public comment, but otherwise that's it. That's all you're left to go on.
I don't have any name or nothing. So we're closing public comment.
If
It's the only thing I have. Please do not interrupt. I'm talking to the city attorney. I gave you a first and only warning. If not, I'm gonna ask you to escort my room. There is nothing here. There's no name. So
Okay, your public comment is closed if it hasn't, if that's your direction.
I don't have anything, so I'm gonna close public comment for item number 5. Thank you very much. Public comment is now officially closed for item number 5. Please do not interrupt my meeting. I already asked you and I gave you a warning. If not, I'm gonna ask you to leave our room. Item number 5, Mr. Bingalow.
Good morning, President.
Can we please have him escorted out? Thank you. I gave him a warning. I do not want any interruptions when it's not your time to speak. You. Thank you. Please have him escorted out of the room. Please, I'm being interrupted and we need to move on with our meeting today. Please escort him out.
Deferring with the public's right to participate.
Please get him out.
For the record, and since it wasn't fully audible perhaps, I wanted to indicate that there was an individual who was disrupting this meeting for several minutes. The body was not able to continue with its business. A warning had been given to stop disrupting, and that individual has now left the room.
Thank you. Thank you, City Attorney. Mr. Bungalow, welcome.
Good morning, President Garcia, Commissioners and Bureau Representatives. My name is Paul Bingaman.
Can you put your mic closer to you? Thank you so much.
You want to start over? Good morning, President Garcia, Commissioners and Bureau Representatives. My name is Paul Bingaman, Superintendent with the Street Renewal Division of Streets LA. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays for commuters. For additional information or concerns, you can contact our coordinating section for the Street Renewal Division at 213-847-3200. The following major street projects are scheduled in the Valley region during the week of November 5th, 2023 through November 11th, 2023. On Monday, November the 6th, 2023 through Monday, November the 20th, 2023, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we'll begin cold milling and paving Reseda Boulevard from Valerio Street to Victory Boulevard in CD3 Tarzana Neighborhood Council Pavement Preservation Program Fund. Additionally, we will provide an update on our 23-24 Pavement Preservation Program. During the week of November 5th through November 11th, 2023, the Valley and Metro regions will complete 7 projects for a total of 3.76 lane miles. The press releases were distributed and notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the council offices to assist in the outreach to stakeholders. We have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance, and this information is also available on the Streets LA website using our resurfacing open projects icon. And this concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bungalow, for that. Any questions? Hearing none. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, President Garcia.
Moving on to item number 2. This is a request in Council District 4 for task order solicitation. We do have a speaker card and it's with the letter M. You have to call it.
Speaker for item number 2, there's not here, so we will move on.
Thank you very much. Public comment for item number 2 is now officially closed. This is a task order solicitation number 203, Kanefelder, Inc., pre-qualified on-call consulting list, Radford Avenue Bridge over the Los Angeles River repairs project. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to issue the task to Kanefelder, Inc., from the PQOC Bridge Civil Engineering and other design and support services consultants list to provide the final plans, specification, and estimate documents for the Radford Avenue Bridge over the Los Angeles River repairs as stated in task order 203 with a budget authority of $250,000, which includes contingency. Mr. Gibson, you're on this one again. All right, welcome.
I'm back. Yes, good morning. Scott Gibson again with the Bridge Improvement Division. So this is a request to issue a task to Kleinfelder to perform design services for improvements on the existing Radford Avenue Bridge over the LA River in Studio City and Council District 4. Proposed improvements include constructing 3 new access ramps, reconstructing both sidewalks, new curb and gutter, reconstructing the barrier rail, and then some clearing and grubbing. Tasks in this, or the scope of this task will include environmental documentation, civil and structural design, and construction staging. The city has set a DBE goal of 8%, and Kleinfelder is pledging a DBE participation of 24.31%. So well in excess of our goal. And funding is provided by the special gas tax for this task. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, colleagues? Hearing none, any objections? Hearing none. I believe, what kind of repairs does this bridge need, Mr. Gibson?
So a lot of a lot of it's sort of cosmetic. It's the bridge itself is in good condition structurally, so it. I need to find the right one. So it's a few new access ramps at each side of the bridge, new sidewalks, wider sidewalks, new curb and gutter. There's currently a wooden guardrail along the bridge, and so we'll replace that with a more structurally sound guardrail. And then clearing, grubbing, tree removal and replacement at the approaches.
That sounds fair enough. Thank you very much for that. I don't hear any questions, any objections. Is there a motion on the table to move item number 2 forward and forthwith? Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Is there a second? Thank you, Dr. Davis. Devin Satorsky, there's a first by Commissioner Reyes and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 2 forward and forthwith.
Great. We will take roll call, starting with you, President Garcia,
Aye.
VP Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Great. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gibson. You are 2 for 2 there. Have a good weekend. Moving on to item number 3, this is a contract award in Council Districts 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, and 14 from the request of Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration. We do have a speaker card with this person starts with the letter M.
Speaker, starting with letter M, you have 2 minutes, and there's no one here.
Thank you very much. Public comment for item number 3 is now officially closed. And this morning we have Ms. Kim here. Welcome.
Good morning, members.
Oh, give me 1 second. Let me just read that into the record and then I'll turn it back over to you. Says a contract award for Axiom Group Sidewalk Repair Program Package number 59, recommending the board to 1, declare Axiom Group the first low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder and award Axiom a contract for the Sidewalk Repair Program number 59 for $1,533,061.25. And 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained from the city. So now we turn it over to Ms. Kim. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Yubin Kim. I'm from the Bureau of Engineering Sidewalk Division. The Bureau requests the board to award Sidewalk Repair Program Package number 59 to Axiom Group, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the contract amount of $1,533,071.25 and related recommendations. For some background on the project is being delivered by the Sidewalk Repair Program, SRP, initiated by Council File number 140163 S4 and adopted February 3rd, 2015. The SRP's Access Request subprogram removes barriers reported by constituents with mobility disabilities and remediates the barrier by reconstructing the existing pedestrian facilities such as sidewalks and curb ramps to make them accessible to all residents. The delivery method for this project is design build. The city provided reference sheets with the area of the scope outlined and bid the work for lump sum prices for design and construction services. The contractor's scope of work is limited to the design and reconstruction of the pedestrian facilities at 22 site locations to remove barriers in accordance with the applicable accessibility requirements, including those required by the ADA or the Americans with Disabilities Act. The contract duration is 292 calendar days. On August 9th, 2023, 3 bids were received and Axiom Group deemed the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. The next low bidder was Access Pacific for $1,926,000. There are 3 appropriation units funding this project via the SB1 Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Program Special Fund for Sidewalk Repair for a total of $1,800,000. I can list the 3 appropriate units if the members of the board wish me to list them, but otherwise this would conclude my report. Do you have any questions?
Thank you so much, Ms. Kim, for that report. You were very thorough. Colleagues, any questions on this item? Hearing none. I just have one, more general question. This sidewalk repair program is this part of the community level contracting by any chance?
No, it's not. Although we are using one of the contractors that were on our small community contracting license, but that list is expired right now and it's currently on Ramp LA to be created anew.
A new community level contracting, okay.
Yes.
It
that's
expired, how long was that original list? I know that it's not part of this, but do you know?
I'm not sure. I want to say in around 5 years. I do remember it was amended to be extended once, but we ended up closing it this past October 27th.
Okay, maybe we'll get a briefing on all of that. Thank you so much for that. Okay, any questions, colleagues? Any objections? Hearing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 3 forward and forthwith? Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Devin Satorsky, there's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Corson to move item number 3 forward and forthwith.
Thank you. We'll tabulate the vote, starting with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
VP Vegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corsan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, the item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Kim. We are definitely in support of sidewalk repair. Moving on to item number 4. This is an administrative item, colleagues. This is specification submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for an invitation of bids. I do, for the record, have a speaker card that is blank, complete blank with an X on it. So public comment is officially now closed. Thank you for that. These are specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. Council districts 1, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, and 14. Sidewalk repair program package number 65. Design build access request sites. Work order E1909078 for an estimate amount of $2,212,464. Bid receipt day will be Wednesday, December 13, 2023. Is there a second to my motion to adopt this item? Thank you, VP Villegas. Devin Satorsky, there's a first by me and a second by Vice President Villegas to adopt item number 4.
Great, we'll take the roll. President Garcia,
Aye.
VP Vegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corsan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, the item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much. And lastly, we are now in our oral report section. It's item number 6. And just for the record, we have a public speaker card with blank on it, just an X. Thank you. Public comment for item number 6 is now officially closed. Office of Community Beautification update, Office of Community Beautification, Mr. Paul Roch. Welcome, Mr. Roch, to a full house.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification, providing our semi-annual update report officially to the Board of Public Works. Starting off with graffiti abatement, over the past year, OCB contractors removed 32,173,000 square feet of graffiti from over 500,000 locations citywide. Compared to the previous year, this was a 9% increase in the amount of graffiti that was removed and was the overall most graffiti removed by OCB contractors since 2010. So, you know, I hard to say why. I mean, locations went up, but also I think the graffiti that was out there was also a lot bigger and more visible and stuff like that, which also accounts for the overall increase in square footage. Over the past few weeks, we have seen an uptick in political graffiti due to the conflict in the Mideast. Just this week, there were large tags on the Sepulveda Basin Dam, on the side of Cantor's Delicatessen, and on the Ron Deaton Auditorium side, right in front of LAPD headquarters, all anti-Israel, free Palestine messages on them. All that graffiti has been cleaned up, but we are seeing a definite uptick in that political type of graffiti throughout the city. Moving on to public right-of-way cleanup services. Over the past year, OCB contractors through the Clean Streets program, the Clean LA program, and supplementally funded services from various council districts have cleaned 42,600 locations throughout the city of Los Angeles, picking up over 206,000 bags, trash bags of debris, weeds, and litter, as well as 109,000 illegally discarded bulky items. The total weight of all items collected was over 3,000 tons of weeds, trash, debris, and bulky items removed from along the public right-of-way by OCB contractors. Additionally, OCB supported the efforts of over 8,000 neighborhood volunteers who participated in 134 cleanup and beautification events throughout the city, collecting an additional 17,132 bags of trash and debris. Based on the calculations from the independent sector, these volunteers provided $1,095,000 worth of service to the city, cleaning up the various neighborhoods and communities in Los Angeles. Some of the special events and things that OCB has recently been working on. OCB has recently assembled rain barrels, which will be providing 700 rain barrels for the period of October through December in partnership with the Bureau of Sanitation. They're being distributed at the various composting workshops that they are holding. OCB staff has been providing staffing and assistance with the various job fairs led by the Board of Public Works, including one as recent as yesterday. OCB has been an integral part in planning and coordinating this coming weekend's Pumpkin Smash event in Council District 5 to promote composting of pumpkins. OCB served as a part of the review committee for the new 311 platform RFQ that was released by ITA, and a vendor has recently been selected and starting the process of upgrading the MyLA 311 system. On Monday, I think, as we all know, the mayor announced ED5. OCB contractors were out in the Boyle Heights area doing some specialty graffiti abatement work as part of that press conference, and a couple news stations did come by and film the crews doing some graffiti removal. OCB has started planning efforts for next year's beautification conference, which will be an in-person event in 2024. The last several years have been done via Zoom, but we're moving back to an in-person event, and it will be held during National Public Works Week in May. So something to look forward to. Finally, as much as OCB considers ourselves a service type of program, we know that we're also a jobs program, providing jobs to residents of the city of Los Angeles and at-risk youth, difficult to employ individuals. So through the graffiti removal program, 110 jobs were provided this last year to people actually working in the field doing graffiti abatement. Another 25 jobs provided to office or data entry people who enter the information. The Clean Streets program employs 25 persons. Clean LA currently employs 98. We're looking to increase that number, obviously, in this coming year. River Rangers currently employs 30. Some of the supplemental funding from the different council offices provides another 30 jobs performing cleanup work. The Clean and Green program hires approximately 200 youth throughout the year. And OCB contractors this past summer hired 80 youth as part of the summer youth employment program. So in total over the past year, that's 600 jobs provided through OCB programs and through our nonprofit community-based organization partners. So that concludes my report. Thank you to all commissioners for being so supportive of our programs and helpful with the various OCB programs. We look forward to another productive year of service in 2024.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raj. You ended on a very high note of 600 jobs. That's really good. It's something, like you said, OCB is not only a delivery of services, but you also provide and create jobs. So thank you so much for just spearheading all of that effort. 600 is no it's not small.
Yeah.
That's big. So thank you for that. Appreciate all of that. And, making sure that we continue to support that effort is really important to us. So thank you, Mr. Raj, for always leading that way.
And
Colleagues, any questions for OCB? Vice President Villegas?
Thank you. Thank you for your report. It was really good to hear. I know that OCB, it's like an umbrella. You all encompass a lot of keeping Los Angeles clean. So I appreciate your going through some of the statistics. I'm going to ask a rhetorical question. I think I know the answer, which we probably don't keep data on, but it's striking to hear that we have an increase in graffiti at 500,000 locations. When you said that, I immediately thought of all the greenhouse gases that are emitted just because of the locations and where everybody has to drive through just to emit, just to get rid of this graffiti. It just strikes me that we're doing more damage, than good. We're trying to do good, getting rid of, graffiti. And it's just a sign of the times that we're unfortunately living through. Because you did say it was, some of it is political graffiti. But I'm saddened to hear just how much, all of our contractors are driving through everywhere, Los Angeles, including our congested, communities that are already have, high population and densely populated areas. So just more of a comment. I know we don't keep track of that, but it's just a cycle that we can't, get out of, I guess. It's just like we're trying to do good and we have emissions in the air. And I know not everybody like cares about that kind of stuff, but it's just, I don't like it. That's all I'll say.
well, and hopefully as new technology comes out with vehicles and obviously there would be a huge budgetary impact, for our contractors to move over to hybrid or, electric,
Yeah.
trucks that are large enough to carry all the paint and supplies around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that is something that, maybe down the line. we're
Yeah.
Able to
Agreed.
focus on and look.
Yeah. I will say that, the contractors that we do hire, it is a quick turnaround for the graffiti removal. And I'm glad that you're at least highlighted just some of this political graffiti that is already removed. And it's that is very unfortunate. But I know that without, having the political graffiti and just the day in and day out of graffiti in our streets, our contractors do a magnificent job in getting rid of it within 20 to 48 hours. So thank you.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Any other comments, questions for OCB? Hearing none. Thank you so much, Mr. Raj. Have a good weekend. Enjoy. And we are very proud of the work that OCB does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Satorsky, is that the end of our items for today?
That is the end of the items for today's meeting.
Thank you so much. It is now 10:49 and this meeting's officially adjourned. Colleagues will have a very short management meeting in the conference room. Thank you.
Thank you.